If the world hates you, just remember that it has hated me first. If you belong to the world, then the world would love you as its own. But I chose you from this world, and you do not belong to it. That is why the world hates you. Whoever hates me, hates my Father also. They would not have been guilty of sin if I had not done among them the things that no one else has done. As it is, they have seen what I did, and they hate both me and my Father. They hated me for no reason at all.
We are live. Chat, we are back. We are back. One Piece 1163 live reaction. That is what we're here to review, what we are here to discuss. God bless everyone for being here. Thank you all. Let me plug my stuff in. Chat, who's excited to be back? I'm glad to be back, guys. It's been quite some time since our last stream. I was out of town. I was not here, as I let you guys know. On Discord. Then I caught some type of stomach virus, some horrible virus. It was not very good. But chat, we are back. God bless everyone for being here. Guys, I just washed my hair, man, so it's looking a little crazy. Good thing we're not here to have a fashion show, right? But God bless everyone for being here. Glad to see you guys here. Absolute legends. Leon, MD Luffy, Sung, Blizzard, Michelangelo. God bless everybody. Let's get some Rocksteez of Egg fan art since I can't put the chapter on screen. Sag. Can't have the chapter on screen. Let's find some fan art and just put that there for you guys to look at. Also, guys, since the chapter is out officially, we're just going to look at the official scans, okay? We're going to look at the official scans. That's what we're going to be reading. All right. How's everyone doing? I'm glad to see you guys here. Man, I feel like I haven't read One Piece in a while, bro. We reacted to 1162, right? We didn't miss that chapter, right? Feels like I haven't read One Piece in forever, man. Like I was in Japan, came back for a little bit, then immediately left. Oh, man. Feel like I've been inconsistent with One Piece. Just been reading the early fathers, like literally like every day, just trying to read them, trying to train my mind and stuff like that. How we doing, guys? How we doing? You guys are real quiet. You guys are real quiet in the chat. I want to know how you guys are feeling. What's new in your guys' lives? Missed you guys greatly. Hold on. I need to sign into Viz so I can read the chapter. Okay, there we go. So let's pull it up. One Piece 1163. Did I even read the spoilers? I think I might have read the short summary. And if I did, my memory is hazy. I don't remember all the details. Oh, no way. The chapter's still not out on the official. Chapter drops for the officials or in the officials in like an hour. I guess we're going to be reading TCB. Oh, well. All right, it's fine. We would have read the TCB anyways. We would have read the TCB. We would have read the fans, the fan translations. Eli, God bless, bro. Life is a fever dream lately. Yeah, seriously, bro. Tell me about it. Tiante, God bless, bro. Oh, thank God, Rose. Thought something might have happened to you. Glad you're good. Had messaged you and Jabril. Yeah, I think I messaged back. I think I was like, yo, bro, I just caught a stomach virus. Some kind of, I don't know what it was exactly. I didn't go to like a hospital or a clinic, but my best guess is that it was like a severe stomach virus, bro. Like I was vomiting violently. It was awful. It was like the worst experience ever, bro. And I had like cold sweats. It was terrible. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, bro. Straight up. That was It was awful. I must have ate something bad overseas, man. It was real bad. Real bad. Doing good, bro. Feels like I haven't seen you in a month. For a month? Yeah, man. It feels like I haven't seen you guys in years, man. It's been a really long time, bro. It's been a really long time. I'm glad to see you guys though. Leon, I hope you're doing great, bro. You are my favorite Israeli One Piece streamer. Yeah, definitely. You know, I am pro-Israel. I'm not going to lie. I'm pro-Israel. And when I say Israel, what I'm talking about is the church. Okay? I'm definitely pro-Israel. The true church. The body of believers, if you will. Sebek is the GOAT. Bro took on Emu, while Roger and Future Yonkos all waited for another GOAT to appear again. Waited for another GOAT. And Future Yonkos all waited for another GOAT. Wait, who is this another GOAT? Who are you referring to? Unsubscribe at Pro Israel? You can't, bro. The true Israel's the church. Come on, we've been over this. All right, guys. Without further ado, One Piece Chapter 1163 promises. Cover request by Toshika Zoo. Luffy parkouring around town with a pack of Japanese Mackay. Is that how you pronounce it? Luffy doing some parkour with monkeys. Pretty cool. All right. We'll do a short prayer this time. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Guys, man, it's been so long since... Bro, wait. I'm looking at the first page of 1163. Did I even read 1162? Hold on. Why does 1163's first page look so foreign to me? What even happened in 1162 again? Oh, okay. So in 1162 at the end, Saturn's body morphs up with like Emu or whatever. Okay. Then when we go to 1163, okay, so now we're picking up from there. Saturn has been possessed by Emu. Oh, man. Saint Saturn, what is this form? Is this an ability? A new threat descends. Such eyesores. Okay, we see Saturn's like claw, but then there's like some black stuff coming out of like Saturn's arm. It reminds me of like Venom from Spider-Man. You guys see like that black stuff coming out of the arm? It looks like the claw actually cut a hand off or something. You see like Saturn's hand, like his claw. On the right side of the panel, there's like two extra claws coming out of it. But then on the left side of the panel, it looks like his, like the claw of the hand is cutting like a black part. Is he cutting him? Why would he be cutting himself? What? Boom! He attacks a Marine. Wow, Emu. Wait. So such eyesores. He's actually talking about the Marines when he says that. Such eyesores, and then he attacks Marines. Wow, it's going after the Marines. Isn't it on their side? Bro. Now he's attacking pirates, so he's attacking everyone. Emu's attacking everyone. Scratch that. Looks like it has it out for all of us. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Everyone fall back. Keep your distance. Wow, yeah. Attacking is prohibited. Secure the escape route instead. Oh, man. I mean, do we really expect Emu to be any less? I haven't really looked into the new manga chapter without you guys. You're a real one for that. You are real for that. Hey, get a hold of yourselves. This pain, it's oddly compelling. What are you babbling about, dummy? Dang it, my crew's been... Gabon, cover these guys. Carry the treasure and get out of here. Not this again. You just don't do anything crazy, okay? What the hell is that freaking monster? No idea. Saint Saturn just transformed. One of the 5 elders, huh? This is my first time seeing one. What a fitting look for the head of those maggots. Vice Admiral, keep it down. Okay, but you still work for them at the end of the day. You still work for them. You could go with your son. I guess this would be in the future, right? You could have started the Revs, Garp. You could have been a leader of the Revolutionary Army, and you probably would have went against any kind of bad people. And yeah, a lot of people are getting sick, man. I don't know what's going around. Honestly, we all know, right, that the Revolutionary Army, their main prerogative, their main goal, right, their primary objective is to rebel and to dismantle the One Piece world government. But I would like to believe that when they are going against bad pirates, that they would also stop the bad pirates too. In fact, we can prove that because of the Leloucia incident. You guys remember when Koala, Bello Betty, Karasu, and the rest, you guys remember when they showed up to Leloucia and they were liberating Leloucia? They were liberating Leloucia from pirates. So what is my point? My point is even the Revs will stand against bad pirates. They'll stand against evil pirates. So truly, what is the justification of Garp working for the Marines? What's the justification? What is the answer? Oh, well, he's with the Marines because he hates the bad pirates. Whoops. Oh, well, Garp is against the Marines. Yeah, actually, no, that soundboard was perfect. No, well, you don't get it, Evil. You just don't get it. You don't understand. Garp is a Marine because he's going against the bad pirates. Wait a second. The Revs are going against the bad pirates too. Wait a second. The red-haired pirates are going against bad pirates. Huh? Wait a second. Even the heart pirates are going against the bad pirates. Did I see the Straw Hat Pirates yet? So what is the justification for what is the justification for Garp serving the Celestial Dragons? I don't see the justification. You're literally gonna call them maggots and be like, I'll work for you though. Wait a second, but your own son, your own flesh and blood, your own biological reproduction dragon, he'll call them maggots too, but he's not gonna sit there and work for them. So what is the justification for you being a Marine? Why would you sit there and fuel their agenda? You know, had you not been a Marine, this situation right now at God Valley would probably look a lot different. Keep reading, fam. Garp does good here. Nah. I remember seeing something good. Look, I remember seeing something good from Garp when I read the spoilers. But it doesn't change the fact that this man has been and still was a Marine. Even after this incident, he still remained a Marine. Vato was complaining because his son became a revolutionary. What a moron. Yeah, exactly. Yo, any Dragon fans in the chat, I don't see why you guys wouldn't be agreeing with me right now. Why would you not agree with me right now? I already know the good that Dragon does. I mean, the good that Garp does. But he's still serving the Celestials anyways. If anything, that just makes the case worse. Because you hated you hate what they stand for so much to the point where you understand and acknowledge it, into which a degree leads you to inflict damage, violence on those people, but then you still serve them anyways after the fact. We're going to continue reading, but it doesn't change the scenario. Hey, if this isn't the Rat King, if it isn't the Rat King came to kill me in person, huh? Yeah, see, Zebek is the real one right here. Zebek is the real one right here. Hey, if it isn't the Rat King came to kill me in person, huh? So thou art the one, Davy Jones. Afraid you got the wrong guy. I've never met the man. Well, we can deduce that Davy Jones is going to be a figure of someone that comes back. Or not even, well, yeah, I guess comes back because it seems like he was someone in the past. But it won't only be Joy Boy then. We got to think of it like that. Joy Boy was a figure in the past history of the One Piece world. But considering Zebek's last discussion with Emu at the Flower Room and this statement right here, chat, we can deduce that there are now two characters in the One Piece narrative that are prophetic figures of coming back, of returning. There is Joy Boy and there is Davy Jones. Exactly. Eli said it perfectly. You have Luffy, Nika. I think Joy Boy is a bit more precise. I get your point with Nika, though. I'll go with Joy Boy. You'd probably go with that as well anyways. You have Luffy returning through the title of Joy Boy, and it might be the case. In fact, I think it's probably safe that it's not the case, I should say, that Zebek is the return of Davy Jones. I think rather Blackbeard would be the Davy Jones. Do we have any agreeers in chat? Any agreeers in chat? Any acceptors? Who are the acceptors? Who are the rejectors? Joy Boy is a prophetic title. He's a prophetic figure that lived in the past and he returned through Luffy. And there was prophecies that he would return. Then there's a second prophetic figure of someone in the past named Davy Jones. He is now being prophesied to come back. And when he came back, it's through, or when he comes back, it's through the vessel that is Blackbeard. Agree or disagree? I also think this isn't even the first time that we've seen this, obviously, but I do think it's an important thing to notice Emu's way of speaking. If I'm not mistaken, Emu's one of the only characters that speak like this. I've said this before. I've said this numerous times. Emu speaks like the King James Bible. So thou art the one. You see how he talks? Emu has a very masculine, diminutive. I don't know if that's even a word. Diminutive. Is that even a word? We'll just say, screw it. I'll just say masculine. Emu has a very masculine, archaic, stern way of talking, right? I think this is an indication that Emu is not only a man, but Emu at least was a man. You're not going to see women talk like this. And don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I mean, hypothetically speaking, a girl could talk like this, right? But like typically, especially in media, we see kings, we see very stern, angry, controlling, tyrannical men act like this and talk like this from Emu. What are our thoughts on this? Tired of people saying Emu is a female? Yeah, if you believe Emu is a female, you have to admit that it's a guess. And honestly, I'm so fed up with that conversation as well. You're tired of it. I'm fed up with it. People, I would respect someone a lot more if they were like, look, bro, I'll be honest, Tiante. I'll be real with you, bro. I think Emu's a female, but it's just a guess. Hey, yo, if someone told me that, yo, I would respect it 100%. 100%. But the people that try to make it seem like it's so obvious and stuff like that, those people have no idea what they're talking about. And whenever you question them, they get backed into a corner and they start moving the goalpost and just start running away from the conversation. When you look at the Japanese, emu's not talking like a woman. Emu's talking masculine. When you see how they refer to emu as emu-se rather than emu-go or emu-gu, I'm sorry. That's how you see the celestial dragons, or that's how you see that emu would be a man, being that the celestial dragons are always referred to as se honorific, being that they're male, versus the one time that they use gu, it was for Shalriel, who was a woman. That's too much of a coincidence. I'll put it this way. Proverbs 18:17. Go look that up, chat. Proverbs 18:17. The one who states his case first seems right until the other comes and examines him. So go ahead. Let these people say that emu is a woman. You go ahead and examine them and watch them run away from the discussion. Watch them run away and move the goalpost. L, God bless, bro. God bless, bro. Emu's a transformer. Transformers, dudes in disguise. While personally I'd like emu to be female, I'm like 99% sure he's male. See, I respect that. There's nothing wrong with you preferring anything, really. But the moment where people, like, especially on Twitter, I don't know why they're like this, especially on Twitter, like, I'll make a thread, right, about emu. And, like, it'll be, like, about emu being, like, satanic or something, like emu has black magic, right? And then you'll get those comments that's like, I like how he assumed that emu is a man. Bro, you don't want to have that conversation with me. All right, let's continue, chat. So thou art the one, Davy Jones. Afraid you got the wrong guy. I've never even met the man. Yeah, see, Davy Jones was someone of the past, but he's coming back. See, emu would... Let's break this down for the slow people. I want people in the chat to actually follow the logic here. Tell me if I'm going off course. Because sometimes I got to break things down. You know, chat, some people read at a first grade level. Okay. Some people have the reading comprehension of a first grader. Okay, chat. Let's start here. Do you guys agree that emu has been around since 800 years? Emu has been around for 800 years. Agree or disagree? Emu has been around for 800 years. Agree or disagree? I want to know. I hope we don't get any trolls in the comments. I don't want to see any trash. I don't want to see any trolls. Okay, we got agree. Of course, 100% agree. Okay, cool. So we've established that. Premise one, right? Emu's been around for 800 years. Okay, premise two. Would you guys agree that being that emu has been around for nearly a millennium, emu knows of the original Davy Jones? Would you guys agree or disagree? Let me say that one more time. Being that emu has been around for 800 years, he knows of the original Davy Jones. Agree or disagree? I think that's obviously going to be something I would agree with. If emu has been around for 800 years, he would know. God bless Elsa. He would know about the original Davy Jones. So what can we conclude then? We can conclude that emu believes Davy Jones will return. That's no longer even a theory at this point. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I know how some people are, bro. I know how some people are. If we have conversations and discussions about this, people will tell you, oh, well, how do you know that Davy Jones is supposed to come back? Right? If we start making theories about trying to prove why, let's say Tiante makes a thread, right? Tiante makes a thread on Twitter. And he's like, let me prove to you guys why Blackbeard is the return of Davy Jones. There's gonna be a guy in the comments that says, oh, well, how do you know that Davy Jones is supposed to come back in the first place? People are going to act like that. People are going to say that. So this is how you dismantle that notion, that erroneous position. Emu has been around for probably has been around for a millennium. We would set a line in the sand for 800 years. He could have been around for 1,000. But even if you set the line, you take the conservative approach, you grant that Emu's been around for 800 years, more than likely, if not just outright acceptable, that he knows of the original Davy Jones, you would thus have to conclude that Emu believes in the return of Davy Jones. I don't see why you would not hold that position. So hope you guys can think about that. Hope you guys can ponder on that. Maybe you guys can add some more, I don't know, premises, some better argumentation for this. Maybe you guys can make your own take, your own theory, something I'm overlooking. Maybe I'm wrong. Could Emu be super insane, worried about reincarnation or people coming back like the ugly guy from Wano? The ugly guy from Wano. I mean, yes, Emu could be insane, but I think Oda's inching towards Davy Jones being a prophetic figure, because when you take this whole side of Emu saying, oh, you must be Davy Jones, and you couple that with the fact that we also had the line from Xebec saying, oh, I will be back. I think Oda's interconnecting those two sentences. I think he's interweaving both of those, where Xebec at the Flower Capital is telling Emu, hey, I'm going to be back. I will return, right? This speech of prophecy, he went on this whole tangent in this whole speech of prophecy. Then the next time they interact with each other, which happens to be on God Valley, he says, oh, you must be Davy Jones. I think this is Oda's way of showing us that Davy Jones is a prophetic figure. It's not only Joy Boy. And maybe now we have to reevaluate 1138, the mural, the Elbaf mural. Maybe we have to reevaluate that and the three worlds. PB&J, God bless, bro. All right. Hold on. There was one more comment. So do you guys think Davy Jones became or got created by a devil fruit similar to Nika? Yeah, that was an idea I was playing around for a long time. But you know what the most common objection that people will give is that objection. Hold on. Let me mute this. So the common objection, right, that people are going to give you, Leon, is this isn't even a good objection. It's not even an objection. It's literally just like, my feelings. They're going to say, oh, well, it would be so lame. It would be so boring if, like, Luffy was not the only guy who had a renamed devil fruit. It'd be so boring. Which, like, all you guys can intuitively understand why that's not even a real objection. But if we need to say that, if we need to explain this out of charity, out of just being transparent, what would we say? We would say, one, Oda doesn't care what you think is cool, exciting, boring, whatever. Okay? No offense, but like, you're not that important. Secondly, it would only be two characters in the story, right? Luffy was a character who had his fruit hidden, like the reality of his fruit hidden through history, like a renamed fruit or whatnot. If you add Blackbeard into the mix, that's really only two devil fruits out of like what, 10,000 devil fruits. Only two has been renamed. Only two have, like, their true essence has been hidden and obfuscated through the annals of history. That's not the same thing as saying like, oh, there's all these fruits that get renamed. We're reworking, we're abusing it. It's being given to everybody. How? It's only Luffy and Blackbeard. That's like the same thing as when people say like, no, the Holy Knights can't have Conqueror's Haki because then too many people will have Conqueror's Haki. I wouldn't like it if too many people had Conqueror's Haki. Well, Oda doesn't care what you would like, bro. What if I like it? Then what? if you wouldn't like that Blackbeard's fruit is actually renamed and Blackbeard has a secret Zoan because you think it'd be so played out, but then I do like that, how do we settle the tiebreaker then? Have you even talked to Oda before? You see, like, these people hold, like, I don't know why some people make these kinds of arguments and hold these kinds of positions. It makes no sense. But I digress. Let's continue with the chapter, guys. Let's continue. That said, I believe promises are meant to be kept. That is precisely why you wretched ilk must be expulged from the annals of history. Wait. So it was Zebek speaking, then Emu interjected. Emu said that, or Zebek said, that said, I believe the promises are meant to be kept. And then Emu interrupted. That is precisely why your wretched ilk must be expulged from the annals of history. Yeah, see what I'm getting here, what I'm getting at, or what they're getting at, chat, what Oda's getting at. Zebek is like, hey, promises are meant to be kept. Which, by the way, the context of this is Davy Jones. Okay, let me break this down in a more simple approach. Look, follow along, chat. This class is in session. Class is in session. Class is in session. Exactly, Eli. I 100% agree. Look, check this out, chat. Let's rewind so we can look at the full context and get the proper understanding of what's going on here. Zebek is saying, "Hey, came to kill me in person, huh?" Emu's like, "So you're the Davy Jones, right?" Think about this, chat. Emu's saying, "Hey, Zebek, you must be Davy Jones." Okay? This is what the conversation's about. This is the topic. You must be Davy Jones, Zebek. Zebek's like, I'm not Davy Jones. I've never even met Davy Jones. But that being said, promises are meant to be kept. Clearly, chat, there's a connotation between Davy Jones and promises. You see what's going on here, chat? You see how we can connect the two? He's saying, Zebek is saying, you've got the wrong guy. I'm not Davy Jones. I've never even met Davy Jones. But, right, that said, I believe promises are meant to be kept. What promises? What is he referring to? He's referring to Davy Jones. So the question is what promise from Davy Jones? Did Davy Jones make the same promise as Zebek? I will be back. Think about that. This would answer Eli, I believe it was. Eli was asking something. Could Emu be super insane, worried about reincarnation or people coming back like the ugly guy from Wano? So this would be another addition to the argument. I would say, yes, I guess hypothetically Emu could be super insane, but I think the notion that Davy Jones is someone who comes back, he is a prophetic figure, he has a return, that is not something solely resting within the insanity of a madman. I think there is truth in that. When we look at this dialogue, I'm not Davy Jones, but with that being said, I believe promises are meant to be kept. Wait, so are you trying to say you're not Davy Jones, but you believe he's going to come back? I'm not Davy Jones. I've never even met him, but promises are meant to be kept. You see, there's almost, I'm going to have to look at the official translations, but there's this notion that he's almost agreeing in a sense to what Emu is saying. I've never met him, right? Because he's in the past. I'm not Davy Jones, and he's of the past, but there are promises that are meant to be kept. What could that promise be if it's not that he will come back? It has this undertone of prophecy. Basically, what you're saying, the reason why Emu asks Zebek if he's Davy Jones, because of thinking Davy Jones came back through him, similar to the sun god through Luffy. Yes, exactly. But I don't know if I would say it. If I would say through the devil fruit. Young Smokey, God bless, bro. God bless. I'm not trying to read my way into this, Tiante. I'm not trying to read my way into this, Smokey. I'm not trying to read myself into this, Leon. I'm not trying to read this into it, Eli. I'm not reading this into it, Leon. And Guts. Think about it. Let's go through it one more time and we're going to continue with the chapter. Think about this. Imu saying, hey, you're Davy Jones. Xebec is like, I've never even met Davy Jones, and I never met that guy. I'm not Davy Jones, but promises are meant to be kept. You see how it has this undertone that he's not the man of prophecy, but there is a prophecy. You see how it has that undertone? Because of the nature of the conversation, because of the flow of the conversation. And then you would call into question, well, what promises could he possibly be referring to? By the way, we already agreed. We already agreed earlier. I think it was before Smokey joined, that Imu surely knows of the original Davy Jones, right? Imu, you know of the original Davy Jones. You know that the original Davy Jones died. So why would you ask Xebec if he's Davy Jones unless Davy Jones could come back? Right? Okay, that's a better flow of the conversation. Imu has been around for at least 800 years. He knows of the original Davy Jones. He certainly knows that the original Davy Jones died. Therefore, why would he ask Xebec if Xebec is Davy Jones if Imu did not believe that Davy Jones can come back? We can then conclude that Imu believes Davy Jones can come back. At least Imu believes that. So Imu goes to Xebec, and he's really saying. What Imu is really saying is, hey, Xebec, are you the return of Davy Jones? Because think about it. If Imu believes that Davy Jones can come back, but Imu says, so you're the one, Davy Jones, how would that negate the idea that Davy Jones could come back? Think about it. If Imu went to Luffy, oh, this is such a perfect analogy, bro. If Imu went to Luffy and Imu was like, so thou art the one, Joy Boy. And Luffy said, oh, I'm afraid you got the wrong guy. I've never met this man, Joy Boy, before. Does that suddenly mean that Joy Boy isn't someone who is said to come into the future? He's not a prophetic figure? No, because you could interpret it both ways. You could interpret it as Imu saying, oh, so thou art the one, Joy Boy. Oh, so you're Joy Boy. Why would you be Joy Boy if there was one in the past? Because it's a man of prophecy. You see? Does that make sense, chat? Does that make sense? Imu's conversation, Imu's discussion with Xebec in this panel is not contradictory. It is not inconsistent. If Davy Jones is a man of prophecy, what Imu said here makes sense. And in fact, Xebec's speech, hey, that said, I believe promises are meant to be kept, is further fueling the idea that Davy Jones is a prophetic figure. He's a rat king because he hides at Pangea. He's the rat king because he is a mass of souls and bodies. I think he's a rat king because he likes hiding in tunnels. Those Marijoa tunnels, bro. With them dirty mattresses. Imu seems like he's the character. Imu seems like he sees character rather than names. Yeah, possibly. I see what you're getting at. That is precisely why your wretched ilk must be expulsed from the annals of history. Yeah, so like if you read everything I just discussed with Davy Jones being a man of prophecy, everything here is consistent. Imu is saying, oh, that is exactly why I need to kill you, Xebec. That is exactly why I need to erase you, because Davy Jones is supposed to come back. Same thing as Joy Boy. Why do I need to get rid of you, Xebec? Why do I need to get rid of Luffy? Why do I need to get rid of Joy Boy? Because they're said to come back. They're deeply tied into the D clan. Mu's world remains incomplete. The world ain't yours. Mu's world remains incomplete. Is his idea of a complete world a world without the D clan? Because he's saying that is precisely why your wretched ilk must be expulged from the annals of history. I need to get rid of Davy Jones. I need to get rid of Luffy. I need to get rid of Joy Boy. I need to get rid of the Poneglyphs. I need to get rid of the D clan. Because as long as they exist, my world is incomplete. Sebek says, the world ain't yours. Rocks, that crazy bastard, he's going after St. Saturn. What now, Rear Admiral? Should we provide backup? Well, dang right we should. Move it. Vice Admiral Garp. Wait, what? Who exact are you backing up? Look at that boy, Garp. Garp, I know what you're about to do. I'm still disappointed that you chose to be a Marine, though. I'm sorry, bro. I know what you're about to do to Saturn/Emu. I get it, but you still chose to be a Marine. The pirates are taking the treasure. Stop them. Those are world-renowned items. We got a bunch of pirates fighting. Things are getting pretty crazy. Foo hee 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 hee. Glug. How's the transport situation looking? We're ready to go, Captain John. This is goodbye then. Rocks pirates. What's going on? What was that terrible shriek? Wah! A Navy ship. I'll have them take the kid. Wait, what's stopping Dragon? Did he get stabbed? What the? Wah! Wait, what's going on with Dragon? He's like flying. Gah, wait, the treasure. Our metals are reacting to something. Don't let go. Big Eater. To me, my treasure. Yo, so he did have kids fruit. Yo, wait, so he did have kids fruit. He did have kids fruit. Nah, bro, I've said it 100 times already. Sign the Garp apology form. No Luffy, Joy Boy, Garp, Joy Boy stuff. Wait. Sign the Garp apology form. No Luffy, Joy Boy, Garp, Joy Boy stuff. Apologize to my goat, Garp, the goat, LOL. Sign the Garp apology form. I'll put it in Discord. Some of y'all are responsible. Thank you so much, Smokey. God bless you. Thank you tremendously for the $10 super. I can't thank you enough. Day by day, month after month, year after year. I don't appreciate your generosity and your love. It's truly astounding, truly amazing. Look, Smokey, the problem is that Garp remained a Marine, bro. That's like saying, oh, well, what's wrong with Donald Trump? He said something mean to Netanyahu one time. It's like, okay, but he still serves him. He's still on that team. He's still trying to help that team. Let me ask you something, chat. Let me ask you something, Smokey. Whose side during Marineford was Garp on? Was he on the Whitebeard side? Or was he on the Marine side? He remained a Marine to figure stuff out from the inside, and he created Sword for that reason. All right, Lewis, I'm going to give you a challenge, and you have either, let me see, you have either like 2 or 3 options, my friend. My challenge to you is to show me with a canon panel where it shows and proves without any doubt that Garp created Sword. You're either going to concede on the point, or you're going to move the goalpost. I'll place my bet there. Or actually, I'll give you a third option. I'll be fair. You're going to show me the panel, and I'll admit that I'm wrong. I will admit in front of everybody right here, right now, I'll admit that I'm wrong. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. I want to sharpen my knowledge. I want to get as close as possible to the truth. If the truth is something I'm wrong in, then so be it. I'll admit that I'm wrong and I'll move to the truth. But I challenge you, show me a canon panel where it shows without a shadow of a doubt that Garp created Sword. I feel that either you're going to show me the panel and I'll admit that I'm wrong, right? And you'll be right. I'll admit it. Or two, you're going to concede on that point. Or three, you're going to move the goalpost. And the reason why I'm holding your feet to the fire on this is because typically what people do, and what I'd imagine you would do, is you would say that Garp is trying to change stuff from the inside because he's firstly working for Sword. He creates Sword to then change from the inside. But if you can't prove that Garp is the creator of Sword, then you have no basis for it. And secondly, can you show me something that Garp has done to change the Marines from the inside? Is there anything he's done to change the Marines from the inside? Bro, I could probably show you Sengoku doing more. Fujitora has tried to change the Marines from the inside more. Kobe's a member of Sword. My point is that Garp changing the Marines from the inside is all hypothetical. It's all hypothetical. Don't let this distract you from the fact that Evil said he'd signed the Garp apology form days ago. Chat, that is true. I did say I would sign the Garp apology form, but I said that out of the igniting of my passions. I was too excited. Garp punching a Celestial, which, by the way, we need to continue reading the chapter so we can get to that point. I support Garp punching the Celestials, punching Emu/Saturn. I do not like the fact that he continued serving them and working for them. That is a huge problem. And if we talk about Garp being a figure that wants to change the Marines from the inside, Garp is a leader of Sword. I'm not saying it's not possible. That's not what my position is. What I'm saying is that it's not confirmed. But you know what is confirmed? Garp is a Marine, or at least was. I guess he retired, right? That's my position. And typically, I kind of hold a similar position on many One Piece discussions. When I tell people, hey, you can't prove your theory, that's not the same thing as me saying that the theory is impossible. So if Garp in the future turns out to be the leader of Sword, right? I'm not going to say, or I'm not going to pretend like I said like that was impossible. No one said it's a confirmed theory or it's confirmed, LOL. It's a theory of mine and watch it be true. It's using critical thinking skills. That's all. Much love. I think a bunch of people here have critical thinking skills. I understand the logic behind Garp being the leader of Sword. I get it. He already hates the Celestial Dragons. He's like spit on them, leading Shirahoshi to the Reverie. He calls them maggots right now. Kobe and Helmeppo were students. They were disciples of Garp, and then they end up being members of Sword. Bro, I get the whole logic. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying we can't treat it like it's something canon. We can't put too much emphasis on it. Let me find your original message, and I need to go over L's super as well. Okay, so look, Lewis, your original message was he remained a Marine remained a Marine to figure stuff out from the inside. Duh. See, duh. You're making it seem like this is obvious, like it's canon or something. He remained a Marine to figure stuff out from the inside. Duh. And he created Sword for that same reason. Does this sound like a theory, or does this sound like you're pontificating? Like you're just stating something like it's so obvious, like it's canon, like duh. You see? You see? You said no one said it's confirmed, LOL. It's a theory. But if we look at the message that started this all, you said he remained a Marine to figure stuff out from the inside. Duh. And he created Sword for that same reason. That just sounds like you're stating it as like a fact. You doubted my boy Garp just like you doubted Dragon. Shout out to L. Nah. Dragon and Garp, they are two different characters, bro. They are two different characters. Look, I want to see Dragon shine. I always wanted to see Dragon shine. You know, in one of my last setups, I had Dragon's bounty poster right behind me. I think Dragon is awesome. But what you seem to not understand, L, which I've explained time and time again, my brother, is that just because I like something or just because I like someone doesn't mean I'm going to ignore the downsides. Okay? Much love, L. I am happy that Dragon, you know, saved Shanks and he turned out to be a good guy and he's rebelling against the Marines, rebelling against the Celestials. He's leading an army, rebelling against them. I appreciate all that. But on the other hand, it's like, yo, this is a shonen manga. I want to see Dragon throw hands. Why is it always ellipses? Does that mean Dragon's the worst character ever? No. Dragon's infinitely better than characters like Kid, useless Captain Mid, right? You see what I'm getting at, L? God bless you, bro. Young Wokey with the $99 super chat. $99 super chat. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much. I do not appreciate the likes of you. By the way, hope all is well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Japan. No break next week. By the way, guys, glad you feel, or no break next week, guys. Glad you feel better, Eddie. Take care, y'all. Thank you so much. God bless you. As you know, Smokey, I had Japan, what was it, like 2-3 weeks ago? Then I came back for like a week and went out of town again. I didn't extend my stay in Japan. My stay in Japan ended on the 7th. Then I went out of town again on, was it the 20th? I think it was like on the 17th, maybe. Yeah, it was on the 17th, I believe. But either way, thank you so much, brother. God bless you, bro. $99 super chat. I don't appreciate, or I mean, I don't, not appreciate, I do appreciate. I don't deserve Eli, Guts, Jordan, Smokey, L, Vincent. God bless you, bro. Lucas, or not Lucas, well, Lucas too, but Lewis. God bless, bro. It's all good, man. We're always going to debate on this channel, bro. Who even cares? It's all good, bro. Appreciate everybody here tremendously. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Smokey. Japan was great. I'm trying to heal, man. I've been eating yogurt. I've tried to eat some fruits, trying to get over like this stomach virus. I do need to continue with the chapter. Let me hold off on Smokey's next super chat. Let's continue with the chapter real quick. Big Eater, to me, my treasure. So Captain John has Captain Kid's Devil Fruit. It's got to be Captain John's magnet power. It's causing a strong magnetic pull to the valley's southeast entrance. Yo, also, didn't I point that out like one of the last few chapters? I was like, yo, man, watch Captain John have Captain Kid's Devil Fruit. He had like that bionic arm. Do whatever you want. Just get out of the way. Roger. John, take that snake. Sky Snake Red Cannon. Flick. What? Boom. Who is the guy with the long beard in the Rocks Pirates again? Is that Wang Ji or Ganzui? I think it's Ganzui. Vincent, I know you know who this is. Vincent, who's the guy with the long beard in the Rocks Pirates? The long beard and the long hair, and he does like the flick, the cannon, the Sky Snake cannon. Is that Ganzui? Gwa, Captain John. Yo, bro got one shot. Wait, isn't that his own teammate? Wait. Aren't they teammates? He flicks it, Sky Snake Cannon, and it blows up Captain John. Wow, oof. Hey, Ganzui, why'd you attack John? Oh, it is Ganzui. You really think that he'd split all that loot up with us? Bro, aren't each of those treasure chests worth at least $1 billion? A billion? Can't blame anyone for wanting to hog it all, really. Huh? Yo, I feel like a similar fate is going to fall upon the Blackbeard Pirates. Imagine getting low diffed by a booger. Yo, chat, I feel like a similar fate is going to fall upon the Blackbeard Pirates. I feel like when it really comes down to it, the Blackbeard Pirates are going to fight amongst themselves, bro. They're going to like start fighting amongst themselves, and that'll be a part of their downfall. It won't be the entirety of their downfall. I do believe that the Straw Hat Pirates and the Blackbeard Pirates are going to fight head to head, but I do believe that'll play a similar role. Young Smokey with the 5. God bless you, bro. Can someone tell me why the Geeka no Me users keep getting one shots? I don't know, man. Is that kids fruit? Is it kids fruit? The Gaka no Me. No. Who's the Geeka actually? I understood that as kids devil fruit. Who's the Geeka? Oh, Jiki. Yeah, that's definitely kids fruit. Yeah, Oda has to make up for the user being a total bozo. That's why Oda has to do that. You can't, Vice Admiral. That's one of the world's overseers. It looks like a pest to me. Why? Save some for me, Rocks. Kaido, you dang brat. Huh? Oh, is that Big Mom going back for Kaido? I'll kill you. You jealous? Check this out. Oh, Whitebeard's going? Rah! This is my catch, Garp. Galaxy. Impact. Divine Departure. Dragon. Ikoku Sovereignty. Shattering Void. Pandemonium of the Abyss. Yo. 6 attacks?
This guy brought a nuke into the building.
6 attacks, bro. Kaido, Big Mom, Whitebeard, Zebek, Roger, and Garp. Yo, I don't think Blackbeard is tanking this. Oh, let me see all the Blackbeard for final antagonist supporters cope with this. Chat, is Blackbeard tanking this 6-man attack? Because look at what happened when Blackbeard was fighting Whitebeard, bro. Blackbeard barely tanked one punch from Whitebeard. You guys remember in Marineford? Let me ask you, is Blackbeard tanking these 6 attacks at once? Is he tanking that? Yes or no? Blackbeard is not tanking this, bro. He ain't tanking this. I like how Kaido's attack is dragon. Bro didn't even have time to name attacks yet. Yeah, dragon. He just calls it dragon. Hey, check this out. Dragon. Bruh. Emu gets destroyed. We see Conqueror's Hockey coming out. Maybe Emu's using hockey, chat. I don't know. I've been thinking about this for some time because when we talk about the pentagram abyss, right? The abyss pentagrams, we see how, I think it was twice, Black Conqueror's Hockey comes out of the portals, at least when people exit them or the portal symbol is being made, right? And now when Emu's I don't know, his possession is getting disqualified in a sense from Saturn's vessel. What do we see right now again? Black conquers hockey. Whoosh, wow. And then people get knocked out. What was that? Is that the start of Armageddon or something? Look alive. The treasure flew all over the place. Pick it up. Da ha ha ha. You never miss a beat, Rayleigh. A pirate's priorities never waver. Yeah ha ha ha. Huff, that was intense. Is the baby, huh? What? Where did he go? Goo goo gaga. Ah. Yo, Shanks is going to walk right into the chest. It's too late to throw it up. It's too late to throw it up. What, the fruit? There they are, far away in the forest, running. Then pay me back. My one attack was all it took. No way, it was all me. Hey, don't tell me you're a new branch of the Davy clan, the woman and her child, frantically trying to survive. Such dangerous lives must not be set loose. A new branch of the Davy clan. Stop it. What are you trying to do? Look, Xebec still going, bro. Xebec is still going, bro. All these guys are sitting there yapping, and Xebec is still going. Huh? Swoosh, swoosh. It will not be Moo who acts. Humph. It will not be Moo who acts. What is this? It doesn't hurt or even itch. Thou shalt be the one to exterminate them. Go forth and slay your wife and child. Huh? That's absurd. What are you talking about? Domi Reversi. Huh? Wheeze, wheeze, huff. What lies in store for the Rox family? And Rox Xebec has been Domi Reversi. Domi Reversi. This might be the strongest character in One Piece history in full-fledged mode. Because honestly, we haven't seen Blackbeard full-fledged, and we haven't seen Emu full-fledged. So is Xebec, Domi Reversied, going to be full-fledged Xebec at his strongest? All right, here we go. Here we go, chat. What does this say? Saturday, September 20th, 2025 at 3:14 p.m. Yeah, it's probably the case that Xebec got reversied. 1 month ago, chat. Shout out to Dawn of Ascension, who also said this. I don't know if anyone else in chat said it. I don't really remember. We have a lot of theories flying through the chat all the time. But there you guys go. Xebec got Domi reversied. Sadibo was pierced by Emu is the devil with godlike powers, but has a big flaw. Most likely Nika, or was it can't touch water? Who knows? But for sure it has hockey. Yeah, Emu is definitely the devil. Blackbeard and Luffy equals yin yang. They will bring balance back to the One Piece world. Yo, I can't. Yo, honestly, bro, I'm not even saying this out of like necessarily like my like I don't know. Like it doesn't really feel like raw opinion per se. But, like, I really can't see, like, Blackbeard being, like, a yin-yang, like, a good guy or something. Like, especially, like, you know, through, like, my paradigm. Like, I believe that Jesus Christ has kingship everywhere. I don't believe in like this yin yang of like, well, we need Jesus, but we also really need Satan. Like, no, bro. Like, the devil needs to be destroyed. The devil needs to be rebuked, right? So, if we think about yin yang, isn't that like chaos, order, good, bad, good, evil? We should strive to destroy evil, erase evil entirely. Evil brings suffering. Did anyone notice Zebek doesn't have a devil fruit? I think a lot of people noticed that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some people just now realized it. Yo, this man Zebek really got Domi reversied. Yo, this might be like the strongest character, if not one of the strongest characters then. Yo, how are they even going to stop? Yo, can't Emu just back out of the fight? Guys, do we think Emu's going to like back out of the fight and go back to Marijois? Or do we think he's going to continue working through Saturn? Or do we think he's going to work through Zebek? I think it's like three main options here. Either Emu just goes back to Marijois, or Emu continues working through Saturn, or Emu works through Zebek. What do we think's the case here? Because I can't tell if Emu's leaving Saturn. It kind of looks like he's leaving Saturn. It looks like he's trying to exit Saturn or something. What do you think, chat? Devil D Zebek. Abyssus power? It's more like push-pull. It was a leading theory and made the most sense if Sengoku's statement had any truth. It was just a conversational from a power scaling perspective, but it's fine with restrictions. Wait, what are you referring to? Zebek. You think he's going to control Zebek? Yo, I think that'd be the strongest character to date. You know, because we haven't seen Zebek, or we haven't seen Blackbeard in his full mode. We haven't seen Emu in like his full power. So I feel like Emu controlling Zebek is gonna push Zebek to unseen levels of power. Referring to Zebek getting reversied. Wait, what is Sengoku's power? What's Sengoku's statement? Oh, like the greatest threat, Roger's greatest threat was Zebek or whatever. The mystery is why Garp is still in Navy even though he fought with Emu. Yeah, that's exactly my point. That's literally my whole point. Why would he continue to serve the Celestials knowing how they are? This is worse because now you guys can't argue, oh, well, Garp didn't know that Emu and the Celestials are bad. No, he knew that they were bad. You see, like, this doesn't really help the case. I mean, I guess you could argue that, like, well, at least he fought with them. At least he punched them. I mean, I guess on one hand, that shows a bit of conflict. It shows a bit of dissent, right? There's a bit of dissent there. But why would you continue to side with them? Even your son, Dragon, is stopping bad pirates simultaneously, not teaming up with the Celestials. Garp is confirmed the most spineless snake ever. Rox would hate that his son captured Garp. Yo, I don't think Zebek thought of Garp as a hero. I don't know. Maybe in this moment, Zebek was like, oh, nice, Garp. You actually helped me punch Emu. I respect you a little bit more for that, Garp. But if Zebek knew that Garp was like, nah, I'm going to stay with the Celestials, though, then Zebek, he probably wouldn't really respect Garp anymore. Yo, Garp, so you punched Emu, Garp? You punched Emu? Really? Really? Really, Garp? You punched Emu? You're going to leave the Marines? You're going to stop working for the Celestial Dragons? Those guys that you call maggots? Nah. I'm gonna continue working for the Marines. Imagine like Robin leaves O'Hara and she's like, yeah, you know what? I want to be a Marine. What? Didn't Garp question what was going on in God Valley, saying it was a genocide? But you guys would say, oh, you're straw manning. Robin wouldn't join the Marines because she witnessed a genocide. Wait, didn't Garp witness a genocide on God Valley? Wait, so Garp, you're actually gonna leave the Marines because you think you're serving maggots, and you being a Marine, you're helping maggots, you're working for maggots? Nah, I'm gonna continue serving the maggots. Huh? Hold on, bro. We had that recent page. It might have been in 1162. Bro, I kid you not. Garp was saying, bro, are you guys launching a genocide? Garp was on God Valley, for crying out loud. This doesn't feel like a dream. They really did this, says Garp. Yeah, so Garp says, hey, Sengoku, did you know about this crap? Sengoku says, I think I recall someone alluding to it in a vague rambling report once. The guy up and vanished from Navy life sometime afterwards. This doesn't feel like a dream. They really did this. And that's why he goes on to punch Saturn in the first place, right? Nothing makes sense here, even justice. Garp, the people you're working for made you question justice. Look, chat, nothing makes sense here, even justice. The people you're working for made you question your own ideology, and you're like, nah, I'm going to continue working for them. Why? Why would you not leave like your son? What do you think about Kong being part of the Monkey Clan and Garp being a Marine because of him? I don't know. I would be wondering, why did Dragon leave the Marines? He had a father that was a Marine. If Garp can't leave the Marines because of his dad, why did Dragon leave the Marines despite his dad? Didn't Robin join Baroque Works in order to gain knowledge? How do we know Garp isn't doing the same? God are doing the same. God bless you, Standy Man. Welcome back, bro. Hope God has been preserving you. So first thing I would say, right? Robin didn't witness Baroque Works launching a genocide, right? At least at first. Maybe during Alabasta arc, you know, the climax of the arc, maybe that was different. Right? Whereas Garp is witnessing a genocide on God Valley, and Garp is even questioning his own ideology because of that. And secondly, right, I would say that Garp being a leader of Sword, right? Garp being the leader of Sword, Garp changing the Marines from the inside, Garp playing the long game, all these things, right, is hypothetical. You can't point, and we were talking about this earlier, actually. You can't point to a panel in the manga and say, look, this right here is undeniable proof that Garp is changing the Marines from the inside. And also, thirdly, Garp has retired already, right? So the thing is like, Garp was a Marine before God Valley, and he called them maggots. He remained a Marine after God Valley. Then he eventually retired from being a Marine to like lay low and just be an old man, right? When you go through the facts of the story, what does it look like? Someone that served the Marines, had their own ideology questioned, continued working for the Marines like, what, 39, 41 years later, retires as a Marine. Where is the canon? Where is the factual evidence that he was playing the long game? And you mean to tell me that Garp, because God Valley was 39 years ago. You mean to tell me it took Garp 39 years to make Sword? Young Smokey with the $50 dono. Thank you so much thank you so much for giving this wonderful message, this wonderful super chat. God bless you, my brother. Thank you tremendously, man. Thank you. I am ever so grateful for you. This is funny. Evil's asking us for answers. The questions he knows good and well we can't answer right now. Here's the facts. When Garp saw BS, he called it. You realized he hit his boss, right? Sign the apology form, fools. Yo, good one, Smokey. Good one. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for your support. I greatly appreciate it. You are a young legend. You are a young king. So what I would say, bro, is that these are fair questions because these questions hit the heart of the preconceived notions that we're seeing in the chat. I'm not asking, it's not like we're having a conversation about Blackbeard's fruit, right? It's not like you guys are saying like, oh, Blackbeard has a third devil fruit. And I'm asking you, oh yeah? Well, what's his mother's blood type? You see, like, the questions I'm posing are not of that nature. The questions I'm posing is, okay, you're going to tell me Garp is a leader of Sword? Well, where's the proof for that? Is that not a fair argument? To me, that's not even an argument. Is that not a fair question? Like if someone comes up to you and says, hey, this is a fact. Here's a fact, right? Wouldn't you naturally ask, okay, well, what is the authority of this? When you say that this is a fact, that this is a true statement, by which authority are you appealing to? Shouldn't you do that? So like if someone comes to you and they say like Garp created Sword, shouldn't you naturally ask, okay, well, where did you get that from? Where'd you get that? And that's what I'm doing. I'm asking people, where are they getting that Garp as a sword from? And the only thing people can say is, oh, well, it's obvious. But they can't tell you, the chapter number. And then you get these circular arguments like this. Him being a member is the proof. OMG, you're so slow. Yeah, I'm the slow one, chat. I'm the slow one. What's the proof that Garp created a sword? Oh, because he's a member. And how is he a member? Because it's so obvious. Why is it obvious? Because he's the leader. Why is he the leader? Because he's a member. Why is he a member? Because it's so obvious. You see this circular argument here? Chat, who's the slow one? I want to know, chat, who is the slow one here? One person asks for the panels, right? One person asks for the chapter. They ask for the canon evidence. And the other person just says, oh, well, it's obvious. Oh, well, just read. It's just like, it's an erroneous position to hold unless you're willing to admit, like, this is a theory. Because now you want to, like, get a theory and then put another theory on top of it and then another theory on top of it. And then when you present, like, the three theories in one, you want to say, like, oh, well, it's so obvious that the first theory is confirmed. Wait, but the first theory is not even confirmed because you're using that one, Garp established sword, so that it leads into two, he's changing the Marines from the inside. So three, that justifies him remaining a Marine. You see how you have to have like three steps to it? Why does he need to be a creator for him to be leader? He trained members and obviously a strong figure in the team. Okay. So you mean to tell me that Captain X Drake, or X Drake, right? Isn't he the captain of Sword? So you mean to tell me that X Drake is the captain of Sword and Garp is just a regular member? Or are you gonna create this new headcanon of like, no, well, actually in Sword, there's like 9 different levels to it. No, actually in Sword, you have the members, then you have the captains, then you have the super captains, then you have the founder, then you have the co-founder. You're going to just like start making up all these extra tiers? All of Garp's subordinates are members of Sword. When you say all of Garp's subordinates, do you mean that, do you mean Kobe and Helmeppo? Because I don't remember Hina, for an example, being a subordinate of Garp. Is she a subordinate of Garp? Actually, is her name Hina? I don't even think her name is Hina, actually. But what I would say is that Kobe and Helmeppo would be, like if we brought this into the court of law, right? Which typically has much better standards than like a YouTuber's One Piece theory, right? If we brought this into a court of law, they would probably say that Kobe and Helmeppo being members of Sword is only circumstantial evidence of Garp having something to do with Sword. You can't say that, oh, just because Kobe and Helmeppo are members of Sword, then that must mean that Garp is the leader of Sword. Okay, well, Robin was a member of Baroque Works. That must mean that Luffy created Baroque Works. How does that follow? Hibari. Yeah, thank you, bro. It's Hibari. I don't know why I said Hina. I must be mixing up the two. Okay, so back to Hibari. Was she even a subordinate of Garp? I know she went to Hachinosu or whatever, but did they say that like she was a subordinate? Like, I don't think just because she went to go help a captured Marine that all of a sudden means that she's a subordinate of Garp. I mean, just by association, them being Marines is kind of like sufficient, right? They're not, the Marines aren't going to send out a pirate to go rescue Garp. No, the Marines are going to send out a Marine to go rescue Garp. Hibari is Akainu's daughter, allegedly. Yeah, the way that Hibari talks in the Japanese manga is exactly like how Akainu talks in the Japanese manga. But interestingly enough, guys, the way they speak is not translated in an obvious way in the English. So, like, if you guys are reading Hibari, like Hibari's dialogue and Akainu's dialogue in the English, you probably wouldn't even notice it. I don't even think it's possible. It's only in the Japanese where you would read their dialogue and you would see that for some reason they talk very similar to each other. My laptop's gonna die. I think my cord is broken. Hold on, chat. Let me fix my cord. 1 second. My bad. I actually meant to turn the camera off and I turned the mic off. No, I need the orange one. Please. What are the chances that the Monkey Clan created the Marines back in Joy Boys days? I mean, it's possible. I feel like that's a bit speculative. I don't like if someone asked me to prove that to be true, I don't know how I'd prove that. It just feels very speculative. Like I don't know how to prove that. Does that answer your question? Here for it. Hope all is well with you in chat. Yo, Juan Martinez, God bless, bro. How you doing, man? How you doing, brother? Been seeing people discussing that only non-devil fruit users get reverse seed. Yeah. Maybe it's because you can't have two devils within you, but I don't know, because like if you wanted to take that argument, you know, being that we heard that from CP9 during any Zabi, wouldn't you just say like, oh, well, if someone tried to Domi reverse you, if Emu tried to Domi reverse you, you would die. Like how you eat two devil fruits, you would die. That would kind of negate the whole point. If anything, wouldn't that just be an insta-kill for Emu? Emu tried to Domi reverse someone, but because they already had a devil fruit, they already had a devil or a demon within them. Emu's demon possession doubles up. Wouldn't they naturally die then? Wouldn't that just make Emu's job a lot easier? Domi reverse someone for an instant death on them. Who else could have started sword? Sengoku could have started sword. Fujitora could have started sword. I don't know, bro. I really don't know. I'm not even arguing that Garp didn't start sword. My argument is that people should not treat it canon. In a One Piece spin-off manga, and by the way, when I say people shouldn't treat it as canon, that's not saying people shouldn't make that a theory. No. If you guys believe that that's a good theory, then make the theory. I don't even dislike the theory. I just don't like when people start treating a theory as canon. In a One Piece spin-off manga, Kobiyama, the MC looks like Kobe, and a girl who has a crush on him looks like Hibari, and her dad looks like Akainu. No way. One Piece spin-off. That was written by Oda? How have I never heard of that? Kobiyama. One Piece Kobiyama who looks like Kobe. Oh, wait. I think I've seen this before, actually. Like, I've seen the cover. Yeah, he does look like Akainu. Bro, I never even thought about that before. That's actually hilarious. Yo, shout out to Jordan. Chat, check that out. Check out Kobiyama. His dad looks like Akainu. That's called a theory, buddy. If you can prove it's called a fact. Okay, so why are you treating it like a fact then? That's the whole point of this conversation. I think Akainu will want to rebel, but Emu will keep him in check by using his daughter as leverage. Oh, that's dark. Yo, don't you think like a part of Akainu would be like, yo, I don't care. Kill my daughter. Because Akainu is like so cold-blooded, bro. Akainu's so cold-hearted. He has like, bro, he has no heart. Part of me thinks Akainu would just be like, okay, go ahead. Kong could have created swords so that other Marines like Garp could be disavowed for insubordination instead of disappeared for their actions. Because you're acting like Oda's going somewhere else. It's really that simple and obvious. Okay, so is it a theory or not? Why do you want to have your cake and eat it too? It's so childish. On one hand, you want to say, no, it's just a theory. I'm not trying to act like it's a fact. And on the other hand, you want to say like, oh, well, it's so obvious. Why do you want to act like Oda's going to do something different? Okay, bro, is it a theory or is it not a theory? Okay, this is just getting so silly. I can't even take this serious anymore. Like, do you not get the point of this? Is that I'm saying that I don't even necessarily disagree with the theory, but the moment people start like saying a bunch of things about One Piece and like in that conversation, they have theories in there that they're trying to make seem like they're canon, then there's a problem with that because we need to distinguish canon conversations, things that are true from things that are just outright headcanon, things that are just fan theories, right? Which, by the way, if you've been a One Piece fan long enough, you would notice that a lot of times in the One Piece community, fans and even YouTubers will question like, hey, why do I believe this one thing? Right? Why is this one thing not true? It turns out that this one thing isn't true. I thought it was true already. Turns out that it was a theory all along. Sometimes One Piece fans hold on to theories and treat theories as canon so much that it literally gets crystallized in our minds as something that's true in canon when it was actually a theory the whole time. That is not good. We should be able to distinguish when something is a theory or not. That was kind of like the whole gist of what I'm saying. Could Garp be the leader of Sword? Duh, yeah, he could be. Yes, I get the argumentation for it. And actually, I've mentioned this in theory or in videos years ago. Maybe I could pull up a video of mine from multiple years ago where I talk about Garp potentially being a leader or at least like a co-founder of Sword. Should I treat it as canon? No. I don't know what's so hard to understand about that. Kaido saw White. Wait, by the way, chat, have I missed any super chats or anything? Thank you so much, Smokey. God bless you, brother, for all the super chats and messages today. You keep saying leader and co-founder like that matters. He's involved regardless. Show me the canon proof that Garp is involved with Sword. I don't want to hear about what you think is obvious or smart or clear or whatever. I don't care what your opinion is. Show me the canon evidence that Garp is a member of Sword. Can you show me? Can you show me? Kaido saw Whitebeard as an older brother. I think Kaido was on his way to help Whitebeard or Whitebeard on Marineford. The Marines didn't know about the Rock's crew history. They assumed Kaido wanted to fight Whitebeard. Maybe Life Bear, maybe. I mean, I would understand, like, I understand what you're getting at, bro. Like, they don't have the full context of Kaido and Zebek's relationship, you know? Maybe they would assume that those two are enemies because they are, or at least at that time, they were rival Yonko. Guys, I actually want to pull up the officials. Dawn of Ascension reminded me that the officials are out. I want to actually double check the officials for this chapter to look at that quick dialogue between Zebek and Emu because I thought that was so interesting. He died for, hold on. He died for the guy that cried in the most important arc. Again, you think Oda's some crazy genius. It's that simple. He died for the guy that cried in the most important arc. Wait, who are you referring to when he died? He died for the guy that cried in the most important arc. Why are you speaking so vague? Are you talking about Garp? Garp didn't die. Or are you talking about Ace? Are you saying like Ace died for Garp in Marineford? Kobe Marineford. He died for the guy that cried in the most important arc. Talking about Whitebeard then? Kobe didn't die. I'm confused with what you're saying. He thinks Garp died for Kobe? No, surely he doesn't think that. I don't think he's saying Garp died for Kobe. I don't think that's what he's saying. I'm confused with what he's saying too. He could just retype what he's saying. But anyways, I want to go over this really quick. So 1163, right? Emu says, so it was the Davy Jones. So he's just basically saying like what the fan translation said. So it was you, Davy Jones. He's calling Zebek Davy Jones. Zebek says, you've got the wrong guy. I've never even met him. Pretty much the same thing as the fan translations. However, promises are meant to be kept. Yeah, so it's going to be like the same gist as what we get from the fan translations. You must be Zebek, or you must be Davy Jones. No, I've never met Davy Jones. I'm not Davy Jones, but promises are meant to be kept. What do you mean by that? I think what he's alluding to here is that promises are meant to be kept. The promise of Davy Jones coming back is going to happen. That promise is going to be kept. So no, I'm not Davy Jones. I've never even met Davy Jones, but he will come back. And then this makes sense from Emu's angle. Emu being around for nearly a millennium would know of the original Davy Jones, would have acknowledged that the original Davy Jones died, would be aware of multiple prophecies, such as the return of Joy Boy. He would go to Zebek and say, hey, you're Davy Jones? That doesn't necessarily have to mean the first Davy Jones or the original Davy Jones. It could be a title, a prophetic figure. Like in the same way, Emu could go to Luffy and be like, oh, so you're Joy Boy. Does that have to mean that Luffy, or does that have to mean that Emu is saying Luffy's the original Joy Boy or the one and only Joy Boy? No, it still makes sense either way. So what I'm understanding, chat, is that Emu, someone who's been around for a millennium, knowing all of this history, multiple prophecies, stuff like that, Emu knows that Joy Boy is a prophetic figure. Joy Boy is someone that's going to come back in the future. Same thing as Joy Boy. He knows that about Davy Jones. So Emu goes to Zebek and he's like, oh, so you must be Davy Jones. But Emu's not necessarily indicating whether or not Zebek, or whether or not he's talking about the return of Davy Jones or the original Davy Jones. He's just using like this prophetic title, this title of a prophetic figure, which, by the way, they go on to say, look at the rest of the context. They go on to say, however, promises are meant to be kept. And Emu says, which is exactly why thy kind must be erased from history. What promise? Joy Boy was an actual person and a title. My argument is that Davy Jones was a person and a title. Joy Boy and Davy Jones, they work the same. There was a person in the past named Joy Boy. That's why he was able to leave a poneglyph on Fishman Island. He was likened to Nika of the sun god Elbaf myth fable. Davy Jones was a person of the past, making curses on people and stuff like that. Joy Boy came back through the vessel of Luffy. And I think Davy Jones is coming back through the vessel of Blackbeard. In this case, what are they saying here? Emu saying, you must be the return of Davy Jones. Zebek saying, I'm not Davy Jones. I've never even met the original Davy Jones, but promises are meant to be kept. Meaning, Davy Jones will come back. And what is Emu saying here in response to that? In direct response to that. He says, which is exactly why thy kind must be erased from history. Zebek, I need to erase your kind because I don't want Davy Jones to come back. That is the context here. So in the way that Joy Boy was a figure in the past, but prophesied to return, Davy Jones was a person in the past, prophesied to return. It's a personal promise from Zebek to Emu he made when he invaded the Holy Lands. No, Zebek they're talking about Davy Jones when Zebek brings up a promise. He's not talking about Emu's past meeting with him in the flower room. They're talking about Davy Jones. He says, however, promises are meant to be kept. In response, or following up with, you've got the wrong guy, I've never met him. That's what they're talking. They're not talking about. Emu didn't come up to Zebek and say, oh, We haven't seen each other since the flower room 2 years ago, or however long it was, a year ago. And Zebek says, oh, well, promises are meant to be kept. That's not the context. The context is Davy Jones. So a better question, or a better, like, I don't know, an objection or rebuttal would be like, no, they're not talking about a promise of Davy Jones returning. They're talking about a promise, some other promise Davy Jones made. Because the context is Zebek Davy Jones or not? And he's saying, no, I'm not Davy Jones, but promises are meant to be kept. What does he mean by that? What promise is he referring to? I think it's this promise that he's going to come back, which would hearken to their last meeting. Like kind of what you were saying, right? How when Zebek and Emu met in the Fire Capital, Zebek said he would come back. I don't think they're referring to that conversation, but Zebek or Davy Jones saying he would return, he would come back, harkens to what we just saw with Zebek and Emu in the Fire Capital, with Zebek saying he'll come back. But he's not referring to his own dialogue. He's referring to the return of Davy Jones. And when we think about Emu as a character, Emu has some of the most knowledge in the One Piece verse. Emu literally knows how the poneglyphs were spread out. Emu knows about Nika. Emu knows about Joy Boy. Emu forms the entire world government. Emu knows about the poneglyphs. Emu probably knows more than any other character in the One Piece verse. Second would probably be Robin. There's no other One Piece character alive right now. Well, actually, maybe like the Roger Pirates. I guess they learned the full truth of the world. But Emu is, I would say, a character that knows a tremendous amount about the One Piece verse. Surely he knows about the original Davy Jones. Even Robin back in Long Ring, Long Land knew that Davy Jones was a dude from forever ago. You mean to tell me that Emu doesn't know that? That's actually a great point right there. We're not talking about Wano Robin. We're not talking about Laugh-Tail Robin. No. We're talking about Long Ring, Long Land Robin. You mean to tell me that Long Ring, Long Land Robin knew that Davy Jones was a dude from hundreds of years ago, but Emu doesn't know that? What is the point here? Emu knows that Davy Jones was a dude from forever ago, centuries ago. So why would he ask Zebek, are you Davy Jones? That doesn't make any sense unless he believes that Davy Jones is meant to come back like Joy Boy. That is my point. And when you think about it from that context and you read the dialogue in 1163, it makes perfect sense. Another way that you can read these panels is Emu saying, hey, are you Davy Jones? Like, are you returning as Davy Jones? And Zebek is like, you've got the wrong guy. I've never even met Davy Jones, but promises are meant to be kept. Davy Jones is going to come back. And Emu is saying what? What is Emu saying here? Yeah, promises are meant to be kept. Yeah, that's exactly why I need to erase your kind. Because I don't want Davy Jones to come back. Which, by the way, I think that's a big reason why Emu wants to take down the D-Clan. It makes sense, right? If Emu didn't want this prophecy of the return of Davy Jones, of the return of Joy Boy, how would you stop that prophecy? Erasing their bloodlines, erasing the D-Clan, erasing their kind. Think about it. How can Davy Jones and Joy Boy come back if I destroy the D-Clan? It's probably the case that Joy Boy is going to come back as a D-Clan. Davy Jones is going to come back as a D-Clan. So how do I stop them coming back? I erase the D-Clan. You get the point here? Emu knows that souls reincarnate. He's basically asking if he is his reincarnation. It makes sense for Emu to ask this, not for anyone else. Thank you so much, Life Bear. Thank you. I could be wrong. My reading into this, my understanding of this could be totally wrong, but I at least appreciate you understanding what I'm putting forth. And I think there's a fair basis here. We don't take many leaps of faith with this understanding. Remember earlier in the stream, I asked 2 or 3 simple premises. I asked, do we believe that Emu's been around for 800 years? The chat said yes. Do we then believe that Emu knows about the original Davy Jones? The chat said yes. So then the third premise is, okay, so if we believe the Emu's been around for 800 years with this immense knowledge, knows of the original Davy Jones, why would he ask Xebec if Xebec is Davy Jones if he knows that Davy Jones is someone from centuries ago? The only way this would make sense is if he believed that Davy Jones was meant to come back like Joy Boy. Which, by the way, I don't even see what's a problem with that, because Poseidon is someone that was meant to come back. Remember that? Remember that, chat. Remember that. When the Roger Pirates in Odin's flashback met up with King Neptune, when the Roger Pirates went to Fishman Island, they literally had a discussion with King Neptune and his people, and they learned and understood that Poseidon is someone that comes back every few centuries. So it's not even Joy Boy. It's Joy Boy that's meant to come back in the future. It's Poseidon that's meant to come back in the future. Maybe even the other ancient weapons. Maybe Pluton was meant to come back. Pluton is prophesied to return. Uranus is prophesied to return. But you know what else could be prophesied to return? Davy Jones. Young Smokey with the 10. Thank you so much, brother. God bless you, man. All this talk just reminds me of when Emu ripped up the 3 pictures of Shirahoshi, Poseidon, and Sovereign for Luffy to meet. Blackbeard, Davy Jones, Luffy, Joy Boy. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much for that super chat and that great point. That's a phenomenal point. I was thinking about those. I was thinking about that same chapter, bro. I was thinking about those same panels. Emu cutting up the posters, like how you're saying. He stabs Luffy's poster. He stabs Blackbeard's. He stabs Shirahoshi's. But he grabs Vivi's and brings Vivi's up to the empty throne. What is the symbology behind that? Why is he focusing on these characters specifically? What we could do is look at the characteristics, look at the properties of Luffy, Shirahoshi, Blackbeard, Vivi, and try to see if there's any kind of pattern. The only thing, and I've said this before, I know for a fact I've said this before on stream, the only thing I could think of is that these characters are meant to be characters of prophecy. These are meant to be people of prophecy. Luffy's a person of prophecy because Emu has an inkling that Luffy is Joy Boy. Blackbeard is a character of prophecy because Emu has an inkling, maybe not 100% belief, but inkling that Blackbeard is Davy Jones. Emu or Shirahoshi is a character of prophecy because Emu has this belief or an assumption that Shirahoshi is Poseidon. So what would that leave Vivi to be? A prophetic figure that is the return of Queen Lily? The user of Uranus? In the same way, Emu would ask Luffy if he's Joy Boy, Luffy wouldn't understand. Yeah, exactly. I made that same analogy, bro. I'm glad to know that you and I were on the same wavelength, man. But yeah, Smokey is a great point you bring up, man. It's a great point. Yeah, I think at the least, whether you want to say like, oh well, VV is the return of E-Myth or Vivi is the return of Lily or whatever, bro. However you want to characterize Luffy, Shirahoshi, Blackbeard, Vivi, at the least, I feel like we should all agree, even though I guess this is more of like a theoretical approach, right? That these are characters of prophecy. Is Imu grabbing Vivi's poster because Imu feels like if he disrupts the problem or the role of Vivi, that the whole tower of cards comes falling down? Because remember, he brings up Vivi's poster to the empty throne, and who did CP0 try to capture at the Reverie? Vivi. Remember that, chat? Don't forget that. Don't overlook that. That was a big thing. You guys might have forgot. They decided to capture Vivi. And you could say, oh, well, they did try to capture Shirahoshi, but like, that was Charlos. That wasn't even like in order from Imu, the Holy Knights, the Gorsei, CP0. They didn't have any orders to capture Shirahoshi. And there's definitely no orders to capture Blackbeard. You could say, oh, well, Blackbeard has a bounty. Bro, they're not actively trying to capture Blackbeard like how this bounty would have some think. My point is that they made an effort to go capture Vivi instead. So I think like when Imu is looking at these 4 bounty posters of these prophetic figures, he's choosing Vivi because for some reason Vivi has like this very integral role in this prophecy that Imu is so afraid of. And Imu knows that if Vivi is under the allegiance or under the protection of someone like Luffy, that it would make Imu's job a lot harder. Also, what we were saying earlier, these characters like Davy Jones and Joy Boy having a prophecy to return end up being minimized if you erase the D-Clan in the first place. Young Smokey with the 10. Thank you so much, brother. God bless you, man. Imu might have guessed Blackbeard is Zebek's son, since in this chapter he tells Zebek to kill them. Imu knows Blackbeard's lineage, aka connected to Zebek. Yeah, and you know what? Saturn as well. Don't forget, in the Egghead Island arc, what did Saturn say? He said, yeah, Blackbeard is important because of his bloodline. I need to go. I always forget what chapter number that is. But I'm pretty sure in the officials, they don't even say his race. They say his bloodline. Now, isn't that interesting? Now, Blackbeard might be a Buccaneer, and we're not necessarily taking that away from him. But they are saying they are pointing out that his notoriety is special because of his bloodline. Great point. Great point, brother. Imu grabbing Vivi's poster has significance, and Imu wanting her to be his pet as he creates the 4th world to make up for Lily betraying him when the world government was formed. I don't know, bro. I'm under the impression that Imu's connection to Vivi and Imu's focus on Vivi is more than just revenge over Lily. I think Vivi is going to play this integral role. Because notice with the 4 posters, it seems like now when we read 1163 that Blackbeard's the return of Davy Jones. We know that Luffy's the return of Joy Boy. We know that Shirahoshi's the return of Poseidon. It seems like there's like these characters are characters of prophecy. I pointed this out a while ago. I have no idea how many streams ago that was. But my point is that I think Oda's pointing towards this idea that it's more than just, oh, well, Lily turned me down, so I'm gonna go capture her great 89 times great granddaughter. Like, did Imu do this for every single granddaughter of every single granddaughter of or every single princess of Alabasta. Okay, I'm looking at 1107. Saturn says as his bloodline. I'm looking at it right now. Saturn is talking about Blackbeard, and he says as is his bloodline. You see that? As his bloodline. Emu left Alabasta untouched till now for a good reason. Yeah, I think that reason is because of prophecy. I think if Emu wanted revenge over Lily denying him, he could have just got Lily's daughter, or like the future king's daughter, or like that daughter's daughter. You know, like 100 different generations of daughters. Why did he wait all the way to Lily or Vivi unless there was something special about Vivi? I think it's more than just like, oh, well, I need revenge on Lily. Which I agree is very distinct from race instead. Yeah, exactly. Also, chat, weren't we recently talking about Davy Jones being a member of the Davy clan? Because, I mean, Davy Jones. So, like, there's an argument to be made that, like, you know, like Shirahoshi, right? Shirahoshi being Poseidon. Didn't they allude to the idea that, like, the royalty, the princesses in Fishman Island get passed down Poseidon? Like, the ancient weapon, the roll of Poseidon? Why would it be any different from Davy Jones? Maybe Davy Jones is going to return through the Davy clan, and that's exactly why in 1163, Emu says, which is exactly thy kind must be erased from history. Emu doesn't want Davy Jones to come back, so he's going to destroy the Davy Jones lineage. He's telling him, yo, Zebek, are you Davy Jones? Oh, you're not Davy Jones. Well, guess what? I need to erase your kind anyways. He doesn't want the promise to be kept. He doesn't want Davy Jones to come back. What's super interesting is that picture Emu has of Lily is shown right after in Alabasta. They similarly have a large funeral for Cobra. Yeah. I know what you're referring to. What if Vivi's needed to activate Pluton on Wano? What did Crocodile look for? Why did Crocodile look for Pluton in Alabasta? Wasn't it alluded to in Wano, or at some point, that the poneglyph in Wano, the poneglyph in Alabasta tells of the location of Pluton? Kind of like how the poneglyph in Skypiea tells of the location of Poseidon? I agree Shamrock is not the rat, I agree Shamrock is the rat, not Shanks. Yeah. I think Shamrock told the Gorosei at the start of the Reverie about Blackbeard's connection to the Davy clan, and the Gorosei told Emu. Yeah, actually, that makes sense. How did Shamrock figure that out, though? But she's the other promised sovereign to meet Joy Boy, aka Luffy. Yo, I don't know, man. Every time I think about the two sovereign, I think about Luffy and Shirahoshi. I don't remember my argumentation for it, though. I never made like a video or a thread about it. I didn't think it was like that important. But I do think Joy Boy, or I guess Luffy and Shirahoshi are those two sovereign. He probably ran it by Garling, who was there. I don't know. I would almost think that it would be something recent. Don't you think it would be something recent? Because it would be like, why did they wait 39 years? How did it take them 39 years to realize that Blackbeard's the son? I guess Blackbeard was kind of like in the shadows for like 39 years, 37, however many years. But all right, chat. It's been 2 hours. Good stream, guys. Good stream. Chat, I wish you all a beautiful morning, day, or night, wherever you guys are. You guys are amazing. Love you guys greatly. I think we're going to wrap this up here. And luckily for us, chat, no break next week. Let's go. Glory to the triune God. No break next week, or I guess this week. So we will be reacting to 1164. Chat, as long as things go smoothly, we'll be reacting to the short summary, long summary, and chapter reaction to 1164. I can't wait for it. This was a very good chapter. I can't wait to see Domi Reversied Zebek fight. Domi Reversied Zebek, dude. I can't wait. It's going to be insane. God bless everyone here. Thank you guys tremendously. Guys, I want you guys to drink some water, eat some healthy food, go for a walk, go for a jog, lift some weights, take care of yourselves, chat. Follow God, seek after God. He is the truth. Jesus loves you more than you could fathom. Yeah, take care, guys. I wish you all a beautiful morning, day, or night, wherever you guys are. And especially thank you to Young Smokey, to L, for the support through the donations. Thank you to everyone who came into the chat. Shout out to Twitch Clips. Shout out to Leon, Life Bearer, B-Dog. Who is that guy? Lewis. Shout out to everyone I was debating with. Solid love. Take care, everybody. Can't wait to see you guys next time. Peace.
If the world hates you, just remember that it has hated me first. If you belong to the world, then the world would love you as its own. But I chose you from this world, and you do not belong to it. That is why the world hates you. Whoever hates me, hates my Father also. They would not have been guilty of sin if I had not done among them the things that no one else has done. As it is, they have seen what I did, and they hate both me and my Father. They hated me for no reason at all.